Welcome, folks. Here they come. All sorts of new friends and familiar faces showing up. Now that we have a good group in the room, as we do here at the Connection Crew, let's catch up a little bit with each other. I know you're on Zoom, so you can't say hi to everyone, but let's share in the chat. What is something that you are celebrating or looking forward to that you want your friends in the crew, your peers to know about? Just what's going on in your world, what's something you're excited about or something you're celebrating. For me, Sarah and I are going to a Colombian Independence Day nonprofit event tonight. There's going to be some salsa dancing, and so I think we're kind of excited to take a little 24-hour vacation. We're a little getaway here, so I'm excited about that. And I will throw in a double celebration. I'm celebrating being back in the host seat of the Joyful Connection Masterclass. Excited to be here again. It's been a while since I've seen you. All right. I think we keep the celebrations going. If you're just arriving, we're sharing something that you're excited about or celebrating that you want your friends to know about and your peers in the Connection Crew to know about. Happy birthday, Angela. All right. Do we need to all sing a birthday song? We won't do that. That would be pretty terrible sounding on Zoom. But happy birthday, Angela. Thank you for being here with us on your birthday. I hope, and I actually feel pretty confident you're going to walk away feeling pretty joyful. So a good way to start the day, or I don't know, end it if it's depending on your time zone. What we normally do here is we start with a bit of a breakout room with just four of you to have a little fun catching up, maybe seeing an old friend, maybe seeing a new friend. But just a quick way to melt the ice. We actually literally call them ice melters because Jan Keck convinced me that icebreakers was not the right language anymore. And so we've, in his spirit, been calling them ice melters ever since. So we'll send you off into a breakout room, and we would love to know, what is one healthy habit of connection that you have? It's something we ask pretty much everyone that's officially joined the Connection Crew. We record a video of them sharing their connection habit. You may have seen it on the website or YouTube channel. Feel free to go look at those. There's a bunch of them already recorded, but we want to know from you. What is that thing that you regularly do, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally, that has helped you develop strong friendships or community? I would even go as far as saying, like, think about one of your closest friends or like someone that you've grown closer to recently. What do you think led to that? Like, what were the things that you did, the habits that led to that? We're going to go share that in breakout rooms. For me, a very small habit that I've been working on the last couple of years is that moment where someone pops in your mind and then you immediately send them a text, even if it's just I'm thinking of you. I did it this morning while I was journaling. But even last week, I did it to this guy, a friend of mine who I hadn't seen in almost a year. And I sent him a text. And the next thing you knew, the next day he was showing up at our house to watch some of the World Cup together. And now we have a co-working session scheduled together. Like, as a friend that kind of had faded away, and just excited to be back in connection with them. So your turn. Take 1 minute to share with each person. You're going to have about 5 minutes total in this breakout room. We're about a minute per person here. What is one healthy habit of connection? So enjoy connecting. Welcome back, everybody. I'm sure there's probably so many unique, different habits, maybe some commonalities. If you're open to sharing yours or like a brief summary of what you do, share it in the chat. I just love learning from each other. Most of the connection habits, the healthy ones that I have, come from people in the Connection Crew that I've learned from. And so I really appreciate just seeing what each other are into and what's working for you to build those friendships or community. Hope you had fun meeting a few quick friends. We are going to officially get started. So welcome. You are at the Joyful Connection Masterclass, hosted by the Connection Crew by Covve. My name's Hansen Hunt. I support the Connection Crew. I love Taco Tuesdays. I had a really good one with Sarah this week. Some amazing, really cheap tacos that were delicious right down the street. And I'm at my best when I am coming up with all sorts of fun, crazy ideas on how to improve the world we live in. Like, I could just riff forever on ideas of how we can improve things. So that's a little bit about me. The Connection Crew, who are we? We're a team of connection professionals that collaborate on our mission of helping 1 million people feel more connected by 2030. There's 1,200 of us, like, kind of in this broader crew that come to the masterclass over the years. And there's another 120 or so that have been more committed as panelists or collaborated with us directly. And there's 12 people on the core team who are dedicated to really this mission and making an impact on this mission. Then there's actually 9 people, 9 teammates, some of them here, who are going to CultureCon in Madison. So one of the things we do is we go amplify connection at events and conferences. And so it's 2.5 weeks away. Super excited for some of the team to be there. Super sad to not be on that team this year. But I trust it's going to be a ton of fun that they're going to have out there at the conference. And why Covve? Why do we do this? We believe that every fleeting encounter has the potential to become a connection that matters and build the infrastructure for intentional relationships. So an example of that in practice, actually, you see my digital background. You'll notice other people here have those, and especially the panelists. That's just a quick way you can access someone's digital business card and hit that keep connected button or let's connect button and send an email intro between each other. So that way you don't have to interrupt someone on the panelists or get their attention in the Zoom chat. You can just very lightly not let the tech, have the tech not interrupt the connection and keep connected with each other easy afterwards. And so we build technology that creates a world where people feel less isolated and more genuinely connected. And that, pretty obviously, the Connection Crew is an expression of that mission. Now, so thank you for the entire Covve team. There's, Giannis and Melina here, but there's a big team behind this that make it possible for me and us to do this work and be here working on this mission together. So there's going to be 3 takeaways today. One, you're going to go deep. This is not shallow networking. This is not share your LinkedIn profile with 20 people. You're going to go deep with one person the rest of the session today. And so you will make that one new friend. And because you are with only one person in a breakout room, if you leave early, that is leaving your buddy hanging. So we asked you to be here present the entire time for 75 minutes. We will use 75 minutes completely, and then there'll be an after party at the end. But make sure you're here for those 75 minutes with your breakout room buddy. And then we will send those 3 Connection Crew activities to you afterwards. So that way you can take these activities out into the world. We want to spread the ripple effects of connection. And so we'll give you the template and say, hey, go do this in your community, in your group, in your conference, in your meetings. All right. I think that covers the takeaways. And I'm excited to get started and officially welcome our first panelist and our actual partner from the Social Connection Collective for the day, Jackie Ourman. Welcome, Jackie. It is so good to finally be here with you. I know we've been talking for a while about collaborating, and it's here. I've had the pleasure of meeting you in person, and you're just a ball of energy and one of those super connectors out in the world. So I'm grateful for you and what you're doing with the Social Connection Collective. Please, if you would, briefly introduce yourself, and then share, when was a time recently you felt like you were in that zone of genius or that runner's high type feeling that I love when I'm running marathons, so people can get to know you a little bit.
Thanks, Hansen, and hi, everybody. I love that song, by the way. I got to see the XX Live actually earlier this year. It was super fun. Anyway, so Jackie Ourman, I'm a therapist, couples and individuals. I'm also the founder of Social Connection Collective, as Hansen said. A mom of 3 boys that are some are grown men at this point. I live in New York. And just really excited to be here. And about that runner's high, funny enough, Hansen, I think I would reference that conference that we were at where we met. It was the Human Algorithm Summit in San Francisco in the Bay Area. And I just we were surrounded by a room full of people that just get how important these issues are. And I started the collective, or we started the collective, Christians here too, during the WHO Commission on Social Connection launch report. And Vivek Murthy was the one who was giving that report back in July of last year. And so at this summit, I got to see him present in person, and it was just as inspiring, if not more so. And that was me in my zone. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't turn into like a complete irrational fan very often, but that was one of those moments, right? Like I was like, oh my gosh, it's him. I felt that with you, and I agree with that moment. Thank you for sharing. I'm excited for people to experience your activity today. Please take it away.
Thank you. Okay. Hi, everyone. So I actually just thought that it'd be fun for the first breakout to give each other a window into your lives, right? So I'm going to open my camera roll. I'm going to I'm going to pop in the chat a few photos from the last 3 months that capture meaningful moments for me, and I'll tell you a little bit about them, and that'll share a little bit about what's been going on in my life lately. So if the tech team can help me out, that'd be great. So this first photo is just a couple of weeks ago. I was actually out in Manhattan. It was one of my girlfriend's birthdays, and we went out for Sunday Fun Day brunch. It was super awesome. And also it happened to be the same day as Pride in New York City, so it was a really festive day in the city. And honestly, this is just a representation. Like, I love time with my girlfriends. It really is so rejuvenating for me, and it was a really fun day. This next picture is an incredibly meaningful moment. This was a month and a half ago. My oldest son just graduated from college. It was a super rainy day in Rhode Island, but it was awesome. And that's my whole family, my three sons, my husband, and my mom with us there. And this last picture was a trip that we went on actually a few months ago. We were meant to be skiing in Tahoe. My middle son goes to college in California. So we've been spending a lot of time out west exploring new areas. And as you can see, there's not very much snow. It was a spring sunny day, which I was not sad about. We had a beautiful hike on Lake Tahoe. And it was such great family time, and it was such beautiful scenery, and it was a really special experience. So those are three of the things that have been going on in my life lately, really big moments, exciting moments. And Christian, I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind coming up and kind of modeling how this activity could work as well.
I would love to. And I'm going to turn off my background because I'm going to show you another way of sharing the picture. You can do, of course, do it by phone. And I'm going to share two photos for my recent life, more professional life and private life. I'm going to start with the professional life. This here is a billboard, a poster. It says the power of hello, because this is from just a few weeks ago during Sweden's annual national meeting place for societal development, where over 60,000 politicians, researchers, entrepreneurs, companies, and civil society meet in order to tailor and shape a more sustainable society. And of the 3,000 activities during that week, normally the organizers show like 3 or 5 showcase on billboards like that as an exceptional example. And my little tiny as an organization for the civil society, we're running a campaign called the Hello Campaign, or Hela Sverige säger hej. The whole of Sweden says hello, in order to make people to raise their and look each other in the eyes for a more sustainable society that sticks together. And so they chose our campaign, and that was just wow, fantastic to me. And the other picture I'm going to show you is from my private life. I'm on the crossroads between work and holiday. So this is me and my kids on a little boat trip in the Swedish archipelago just a few days ago. So yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. Back to Jackie.
Awesome, Christian. And thank you for sharing that way and showing people the different ways. If it's on your desktop, you can pop it in the chat. If it's not, you can use your phone. And I'm so happy for you. Congratulations on your campaign getting selected. And I love seeing that beautiful scenery out in Sweden. I'll have to come visit soon. All right, so everyone, now it's your turn. So open your camera roll, scroll back the last 3 months or so, and pick 2 or 3 photos that capture meaningful moments. And in your breakout, you can share your photos and tell your partner a little bit about what's been going on in your life lately. We'll have 30 seconds or so to just kind of pick those pictures out. So I'll let you kind of take a little bit of time to do that. And then I'll set you off after the 30 seconds. Great. So time's up. Now you're ready. Take a minute to introduce yourselves before you dive into the activity. The person with the longest hair goes first in this one. And also just share one word that describes how you're arriving today, and then go ahead with the activity instructions in the chat. And we will look forward to hearing from you when we all get back together.
Thank you, Jackie. Folks, let's please give a round of gratitude in the chat for Jackie and her activity. I love looking back into what happened 3 months ago. It felt really good for me to get back into some of those memories and share with someone. So, all right, it is time to welcome our next panelist, our Swede for the day, the let's welcome Christian Altenius. Come to the stage, my friend. There he is. I love it. We can count on Christian to show up with the good energy, the dancing energy. It is so good to be here with you. I'm excited that Jackie introduced us, and she was like, I know exactly who needs to be on your Masterclass, this guy, Christian. I was so happy that you were the one. You're so fun to collaborate with. So I'm glad you're here. Christian, please, if you would, briefly introduce yourself. And like Jackie did too, if you're open to sharing a story about recently when you felt like you're in your zone of genius or experienced that elusive runner's high, would love for the group to hear about that from you.
Well, thank you, Hansen. I say hey from Sweden. And on behalf of myself and Howard Jones, that we just heard singing, like to get to know you well. Well, I'm a social entrepreneur. I'm into social connections since 2006. That's 20 years ago when I started my first startup, City Polarna, City Buddies. It's a bit like Meetup, but way less commercial and much more connected, focusing on the people hosting activities for others to join in Sweden. I'm also chairing the Swedish National Organization on Loneliness, NSOE. And I educated a radio journalist, but that was years ago. And I'm also an officer in the Swedish Navy, currently serving 50% of my time in the Navy. And I'm co-founder of the Social Connection Collective. And that hallelujah moment that I would like to share, well, it has to be, you know, the event of the year that Society for Development Place, the meetup place, when my tiny organization was chosen to be in the limelight. A fantastic feeling that if you have the right ideas and if you have ideas that are, you know, for something good, people will discover them, how tiny budget you might have. So that felt very, very nice to me. So yeah, that's the introduction.
Love it. Thank you, Christian. And you're involved in so much. One thing I just love is that you've been doing this social connection work for a long time, and you're having a huge impact. And I know you shared about your campaign earlier. Just awesome to have someone here who's been doing the work. So thank you for all of your work and effort around that. Now, please take it away. And a quickly announcement: we're going to extend the breakout room time for the second breakout room. So Christian gets bonus time there on his breakout. But that way, folks, if you need to catch up on sharing your photos, you'll have an extra minute or two there.
Excellent. That sounds really good. Perfect. Well, again, super welcome. Some of us are joining from the Social Connection Collective today, and wherever you come from, we come from different organizations, culture, countries, even continents, but we all have one thing in common. We are dedicated, everyone here, to create belonging for others in some way or the other. And here in my slot, I would like you to reflect on what made you a connector or got you into this field of social connection, or rather, who made you a connector? Who inspired you going in this direction? So the question will be, who showed you what it means to create belonging for others, and what did they do that left such a lasting impression on you? And first, let me demonstrate with an example of my own. This is a very, very early experience I had when I was 8 or 9 years old. Just joined the Boy Scouts, and this was during my first camp. I felt so homesick. I felt I did not fit in. I hadn't yet really broken the codes of you know, the social codes, and I was a bit of a loner. But then one scout leader in particular, Mona, she noticed me. And she noticed my nerdy strength, bird watching. So she made my nerdiness shine as she involved me in creating activities and little like, yes, birds, yeah, great. And she made me shine because she made me like create activities and little competitions. How many birds can you watch? And what happened then? Well, of course, I became in the center. People started noticing me, who had brought me into the group. And made me important. So, and quite soon I became a social butterfly myself, and I became the one a person that started noticing and welcoming others. So that's my little story there. Now I will allow to try this with Steven to model how this works. Would you be happy to join me, Steve?
Absolutely.
Thanks. So the question is again, who showed you what it means to create belonging for others, and what did they do that left such a lasting impression on you?
Thanks, Christian. So, hi, everyone. I'm Steve Coté. And over 20 years ago, when I was in college, also in Boston, I'm in Boston now, I met a man named George. George was homeless at the time. And I often accompanied him to the soup kitchen where we ate together. And I often stayed late because he stemmed for change in downtown Boston. What I learned there moved me forever. What I witnessed was somebody stemming for change, but the approach was completely atypical. It was atypical in the sense that George really was curious and he really wanted to know the best part of everybody's workday. Everybody around downtown Boston was in this 9 to 5, and George was the guy who cared to know what was the best part. What I noticed over the course of years was that dozens of people would stream to George after work and tell him. So this wasn't just his way of survival, stemming for change, but it was the way he was. It was the way he became himself in terms of someone who's curious about strangers and someone who's curious about people in his life. And so his way of approaching relationships struck me forever. And I still know George to this day.
Wow, that's a really heartbreaking story. Thank you very much for sharing this particular story, Stephen. And now it will be you guys' turn. But first, we will just, like we did before, pause for 30 seconds to reflect on your response. And again, the question, who showed you what it means to create belonging for others, and what did they do that left such a lasting impression on you? So 30 seconds. Okay, so that should be around 30 seconds. So you're ready. You will find the instructions there in the chat, and I would like the person with the most colorful outfit to answer first. Enjoy. Okay, everyone. Welcome back. Starting to enter. Hope you had a joyful little exercise there. Now we're gonna go ahead and share our reflections in the chat. And the tech team will help me pasting the question, because I want you this time to reflect it's a twofold one actually. It's what's one quality that you would say great connectors seem to have in common? And what's one connector behavior, so to speak, you'd like to practice a little bit more? So what's the common thing that great connectors have in common, and what's correct behavior you'd like to practice? So go right ahead and share in the chat. Authenticity, wow, here comes a lot. Perfect presence, authenticity, curiosity, warm, curious, welcoming, fantastic, curiosity. Yeah, we are curious people, aren't we? Good connectors generally enjoy being connected with no ulterior motive. Stephen J. That's a fantastic one. Authenticity, again, loving, warmth, vulnerability. Exactly. Just that being hello, but actually being open up yourself. Oh, I love that word, kindness. Kindness is an underestimated thing, isn't it? Kindness, open-mindedness, providing space, physical circle, being able to listen, respond, ask questions. Continuous learning, remembering important facts or moments about people and following up, acknowledging them, empathy and understanding. Now we go to the practice mode. Perfect. I'd like to practice not hijacking convos. That's the downside of us connectors, isn't it? That we are so eager to. I love it. I love it. Willingness to help others without looking for something in return. Yeah, that comes back, and I agree completely. Willingness to help, then know how to orchestrate the people, harmony, etc., etc. Fantastic. Excellent. Thank you very much for those comments in the chat there. And well, that will be all from me. See you all around in the Social Connection Collective. That's what me and Jackie are to be found. So thank you very much, and I'll pass the mic back to Hansen.
Thank you so much, Christian. Yeah, I love your activity. Just looking back at where we learned these traits from, or maybe who we want to continue learning from. And I know the presence one for me was, I look back at the people, I'm like, wow, they're all so present. That's what I value most, and maybe what the thing I want to work on more of in my life. So thank you for prompting that. Appreciate you, Christian. All right. We've made it to the third round. Last but not least, please give a warm welcome to Stephen J. Coté. So excited to have you here. We've also had the pleasure of connecting in person. I'm very grateful that we've had those moments together and that you're collaborating with the Connection crew in Madison. But now is your initiation into the Connection crew. Please briefly introduce yourself. Share, like the others, recently when you were like in that zone of genius or when you felt that runner's high or something like that. What was that moment for you recently, Stephen?
Thanks, Hansen. So, hi, everybody. We will get to the runner's high. I was a runner in high school. I love runner's highs. Uh, First, I'll just tell you that I care a lot about place. I care a lot about social infrastructure. What I'm super passionate about is how we can demonstrate socially connected neighborhoods across the United States. So I'm always looking for that right spark, that right initial branch that would spark an ecosystem of a socially connected neighborhood. Maybe it's your neighborhood. It could be. Just reach out to me. So obviously love to shine light on people and places, built environment, social connection. I'm with the Massachusetts Coalition to Build Community, and then loneliness with the Foundation for Social Connection, the Social Connection Collective, and most recently, the Real Men's Mental Health Foundation. So mental health is all part of this, as well as social health. To answer the runner's high question that Hansen presented to me, um, there's really nothing I love more than the after conference gathering, whether it's an outside place or an inside place. It's that chance to approach the person that you're intrigued with and go deeper. A lot of times you can't do that during the conference, but in that after conference hour or two, you can go there. And believe me, I go there. So that's where I run high. I recently did that in the Netherlands, Utopian Festival Conference. So really, really fun. Thanks.
I appreciate that, and I can vouch for that. I think you've done that to me, and I do love those moments afterwards. Yeah, that's the go deeper opportunity. Well, thank you for being here and for sharing your gifts, especially your passion for third places and helping people find their places. I'm excited for people to experience your magic today. So take it away, Stephen.
Thanks, Hanson. So I call this activity how to find your social connection outside the box, but it involves the knowledge of your social connection inside the box as well as your social connection outside the box. I'll start by saying that when we feel synchronous, which has a lot to do with how we feel social connection, we feel less lonely. And so the idea is, where can we find balance and synchronicity in our lives? And what do we need more of? What do we need less of? And I believe a lot of that is actually told by how we view our social connection, both inside the box and outside the box. So let me elaborate. Inside the box, regular social connection actions and places tend to be the ones that are predictable for us and the ones that are mutually foreseeable that we get ourselves into. So when I think of inside the box social connection that's regular and in place, I automatically think of my yoga class. I automatically think of attending my church service, and I definitely think of getting together with guys to watch sports at a regular interval during a sports season. Those are all like inside the box activities for me. Now we'll go to outside the box, which is a little more challenging. And for some people, it's easy, and some people, it's not. Outside the box social connection that's regular and in place has a lot to do with dealing with unfamiliar concepts that are thrown your way, maybe dealing with a person who says something that you don't know how to respond to. And of course, there you are having to respond to a conversation that you did not predict. So it usually requires a cognitive stretch to engage in unfamiliar concepts. It's kind of like curiosity on demand. And it's very much like the breakout rooms here at Connection Crew, because you come together and you have to learn about a new person. You have no idea what to expect. So when I think of outside the box actions and activities, I think of being in maker spaces with artists. I do that regularly. I'm part of a regular book club at my friend's home. You're always encountering some kind of concept that's different to engage with. And then, of course, I love meeting new friends at third places. That's my thing. And it always involves asking new questions and having to answer the things you did not predict. So again, try to think of those two concepts of inside the box social connection, outside the box social connection, and how they're both actually really important overall. So let me just elaborate on my inside the box example. It's yoga class. I love my yoga class. I show up early to my yoga class. I lay on my mat. I know what's going to happen generally. I don't know all the moves, but I know what's going to happen. I know who the instructor is. I know that I feel safe and strong in that environment. Wonderful. Love it. That's inside the box for me. Happens 3 times a week. Now, my outside the box example. Once a week, I get together with a men's group called Walking Talking Men. 30 of us get together and we're all paired in twos, kind of like what's happening here. And we walk with our random partner every week around a 2-mile reservoir. And the whole point is to get to know them and find out what's on their mind. We have no idea what's going to be said. We have no idea the struggles we're going to hear, but we're there for each other. And it makes that social connection a little different and definitely more outside the box. So now I'm going to ask Jackie to model this in real time for us. So of course, I'm going to ask her a couple questions. Jackie, would you be willing to help me?
I'd love to.
Great. So Jackie, could you elaborate or talk about a regular social connection action in place for you that is totally inside your box, like within your box?
Yeah, but before I do, I just want to say I absolutely loved your examples, but especially this walking men's group that you talked about. That sounds amazing. Yeah, so my inside the box, I have two. I actually anchor my weeks whenever I can, Mondays and Fridays. I try not to miss, but of course life happens. But Monday mornings, I play tennis. There's a foursome. We go to a local court and it's social and it's active and we're outside and it's so fun. And then on Fridays, in the last 2.5 years, I've been playing mahjong with a group of women, and we have mahjong and lunch, and it's the best. And we laugh, and sometimes we even, support each other with stuff that's going on in our lives.
Thanks, Jackie. So those are 2 great examples of like regular actions in Jackie's life that are inside the box. But now I'm going to ask you to stretch a little bit cognitively, maybe, and think of a social connection activity that's regular for you in place, perhaps, that is outside of your box.
Yeah. So, initially what I think about is like, I'm a therapist, right? So I'm like, I have this honor of like meeting people in their most vulnerable moments and sitting very deeply in those spaces with people. And so I do have the privilege and honor to go deep with people very often, but that's the whole space I hold for others. So the space for myself is actually in the peer supervision groups that I've cultivated. So I have 2 peer supervision groups, one for couples therapists and one's for individual therapists. And it's in those spaces that we share and reflect on not just our cases and helping each other with them, but also like this thing called countertransference is what comes up for therapists. And sometimes when you're sitting and holding space for someone else, it might trigger something for you. And so we often will share that with each other and get support from one another in that space. So I'm really grateful for those.
Thank you so much. And of course, both sides of the box are very important. I'll stress that all the way through. And maybe in general, I would say that as Americans, especially, we have a little bit less activities that are outside the box. But now we're going to take a break for you guys to reflect on your social connection activities, both inside and outside of the box. So we're going to have 30 seconds for that reflection. And when you come into your breakout rooms, the person that I live in Massachusetts, so the person that lives furthest from Massachusetts goes first. And the instructions for sharing about both inside examples and outside examples in your life will be in the chat. Thanks. All right, everybody's ready. Let's do this. Inside the box, outside the box. What are your examples? And feel free to go deep. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. As you get in, and I'll keep repeating this, the inside the box is so important, and it's relationally kinds of groups that are regular that we can predict. That don't make us stretch too much, but we got to know who they are. And if you could just as you're coming back, start sharing in the chat examples of what you talked about that were inside the box examples. It'd be great to just see what we're all thinking that actually happens inside the box for the people here. And again, the people here are naturally more connective, I would say, but it's always important to reflect on what an inside the box activity is that's in our lives. And so just share it in the chat. So sporting events, kids sports, pickleball, book clubs, gyms. Yeah, a lot of exercise and sports watching, I would say, is like inside the box in our culture. Workouts, some Zooms are inside the box that you do with friends. Work is generally predictable and inside the box. Again, tennis, board games can be inside the box. Again, a lot of these are play. It's how we play together. It's how we were brought up to play together, to watch sports, to be in sports, to do activities. Barbecues can be in the box. Prayer, certainly, a church can be inside the box. So let's see a few more examples, and then we'll switch it to the outside the box types of actions and places. Breakfast with family. I love family can be inside the box. Praying with family can be inside the box. All right, let's switch it to outside the box, everybody. What is outside the box? So Hansen says professional health circles, social health circles, encountering neighbors that maybe you don't know very well. What else? A lot of neighborhood stuff. Board games can certainly be outside the box, reasons to come together and get to know new people. So it's interesting how sports and games are very much part of how we socialize, and how sporting and games and leisure can be both inside the box and outside the box. What else do we have here? Anything talking to strangers, any men's group where you're talking to strangers, social groups where you're talking to strangers, meeting new volunteers volunteering can be outside the box for some people. Improv is certainly outside the box. And so, as you can see, there's like a bonding kind of mentality to this and a bridging kind of mentality to this. Bonding is when you're doing things that are familiar with familiar people. Bridging is when you're meeting new people, engaging in relationships in unexpected ways. And it's an interesting lens to think of both sides in terms of how we socialize. Some things really do stretch us, and some things are well within our box that we can just know what we're going to expect. Rap Cipher Club. That's awesome. Let's do that.
How did I know Tony would say that? Good to have you here with us, Tony. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate you. Everyone, please share a round of gratitude in the chat for Stephen, but also Christian and just our panelists in general. They put a lot of work into making this 75 minutes truly intentional, connecting, and joyful for us. So thank you, Stephen. Appreciate you. Let's have our traditional wrap up. Let's maybe share a word in the chat as we're ending today. And this is not the end of your time with your breakout room buddy. It is in this Zoom, but I hope that you and your breakout room buddy can stay connected afterwards, follow up with each other, or it could have been just the perfect relationship moment here, and that's enough for you. But let's share in the chat. How are you feeling walking out today after your 3 breakout room sessions with the same buddy? How are you feeling? I know for myself, I was in a breakout room with 4 people, so not quite the same, but with all the panelists, and I feel like no matter how much I know these people already, I love how certain activities like this help me go deeper with people. So I feel like more intimacy, more belonging even is where I'm probably going with there. Thank you all for coming. Fun, energized, extrovert, refreshed. Interesting. All right. Uplifted and grateful. Fabulous. Thank you, Bettina. Let's go ahead. We're going to launch a poll real quick while we're sharing in the chat. And then we could also maybe get the link in there now, as I know it's coming up next. But let's get the link for our August Masterclass. We would love to see you there in partnership with our partners, CultureCon. They'll have just wrapped up their their event in Madison, Wisconsin, but be looking forward to CultureCon West in Las Vegas, and they'll be back with the masterclass with us next month. And yeah, if you want to join, if you want to be a panelist, then mark on that poll that you want to feel fully supported, or even I want to feel like I belong in the connection crew. Those are ways to let me and us know to follow up with you and say, hey, let's invite you to be on as a panelist. That is our initiation into the community, is being a panelist in the Joyful Connection Masterclass. So if you want to be initiated, please join us. Just raise your hand, submit the poll, and follow up with us. Then I think it is time for our maybe group photo. I think maybe, am I missing that? Yep. Let's do, we could probably wrap the poll up, or there's a couple more people still responding in the poll. But as we do a massive group photo together. I like to tell people to share the feeling that you're feeling. What is that facial expression? What is that physical body embodiment of that feeling? Maybe it's your joyful face, and then our Alvaro will give us a 3, 2, 1 countdown. Does that work, Alvaro?
Yes, Hennes is going to take the photo.
All right.
Sounds good. So let's do the photo in 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Let's take another one.
One more.
3, 2, 1. Awesome. I have it here.
I copied Sarah on that one. Thank you, Sarah, for that. Thank you all for being here. It is the end of our official time together. If you need to say goodbye, totally understand. We asked for a 75-minute commitment. We do have a 15-minute after party where we all stay together and all get to chime in and share a little bit. So I'd love for you to stay on and connect with us together. It is not required, but we just love being together a little bit afterwards and hearing from everyone. So we can see you a little bit more. And we'll stay on gallery mode. I'm done being in the spotlight. I'd love to start us off. Well, I'm going to ask everyone to share, if you want to start thinking about the intention here. What we have is to like spread those ripple effects of connection into the world. And that's really what makes an impact on this mission of helping 1 million people feel more connected. So what ripple of connection from this masterclass do you want to take out into the world after that? I'll put that a question in the chat too. And while we're thinking about that, I'd love to just invite Jackie to share a little bit more about the Social Connection Collective and kind of why partner with the Connection Crew and Covve. Why are you here?
Thanks, Hansen, and I'd love to share this space with Christian as well. So I'll talk a little bit. Christian, you can also share anything that you think that I missed. So the collective was started, the WHO Commission on Social Connection launched exactly 1 year ago. I think it was today. And Christian and I, along with many others that care and are passionate about social health, were on the Zoom. And it was a very inspiring conversation, and one that I felt really connected to and wanted to continue. And everyone was trying to share their contact details in the chat. There were over 700 people in the Zoom. And then I dropped a Google spreadsheet. I said, hey, let's all connect here. And I started a listserv, and then Christian reached out to me, and the rest is history. We now have over like 1,000 people as part of the collective, and we have an ambassador program, and we have a private LinkedIn group, and there's lots of ways to get involved. And it's really, we say our mission is to connect the connectors, because no one should be doing the work of ending loneliness alone. So if you're passionate about this issue and you want to join, I will drop some information in the chat on how to stay in touch with us and follow along. But Christian, I'll let you jump in and add a little bit as well.
No, but really, I can just add that connecting the connectors truly across the world. We are on all inhabited continents now, sharing our success stories, sharing our frustration of sometimes feeling lonely, working with loneliness, and there are people from all over the branches, so to speak. The connection is pretty social. Health is a wide field, so it's like all of it. And we can also, even if you think, oh, maybe social prescribing, maybe that's not my field, but it's always something that you can pick from other fields and implement in your work. So please join the Social Connection Collective too on LinkedIn there.
Thank you both for your work. And I love how Jackie is just like, there just has to be that one person that shares the spreadsheet in the chat, right? That has the idea and gets it done. I do think a lot of the people in this room, or those connectors, those super connectors that you're talking about, like those are the people that we're the ones that are sharing that spreadsheet. So thank you for doing that and being the one that helps be intentional about keeping people connected. All right, let's popcorn. We're going to go through everyone here. I hope you get your turn before you have to pop off. 30 seconds or less. How are you thinking about spreading those ripple effects of connection out into the world after this? Maybe it's a habit that you picked up. Or where would you use one of these activities you just learned? Like, is it a particular meeting or a community you want to use one of these activities in? Or who will you invite in to the work with you and to connect with you? I will popcorn to, wait, Sarah, are you still here and I just can't see you, or did you exit? I was going to go with Sarah first. We'll go with Stephen J first, not to be confused with Stephen J. Coté. Stephen, first 30 seconds share, and then just popcorn to the next person.
Yeah, I think the whole conversation made me realize that I need to kind of maybe create a little bit more of an inside the box regular connection, because all my inside the box interactions have been kind of somewhat irregular and like here and there and stuff like that. So, and I'm interested in talking with Stephen J. Coté a little bit more about that as we're going to be in Madison together. With that, I am looking for, is my hip hop enthusiast Tony still on or no?
Yeah, no, wait, did he leave? Shoot, I think he might have signed off. Sorry. We lost Tony.
All right. All right. Well, in that case, I will then throw it over to Melina.
Yeah, so I think two things. One, the photos. I think that's a really easy one. So Jackie's activity, I think that's amazing to do among friends as well, and new connections. And the other is that I've realized I really need to strengthen my out-of-the-box connections and make sure I have a regular cadence of those. And I will popcorn to Vanya.
Thanks, Melina. Okay, so first and foremost, I use a lot of the activities we learn here at Joyful Masterclass. From the very first one I ever went to, I kind of put it into place right away. So kind of same as Melina, I love the picture idea. So now I'm thinking when I go to those first coffees with people, I may ask like, would you mind sharing a picture that, has meaning to you in the last few months that you'd be willing to tell me a story about? So I think that'll be a fun way to go a little bit deeper in those first introductions. And then the inside and the outside of the box was a really interesting thought process. So I do have like one that came to mind right away. I meet with girlfriends once a month, and it's yep, that's it. So I need to work on outside the box.
Thank you. And that photo share one, I wonder, like, what is like the way in to get them to feel comfortable to share with you? And I was like, maybe I just start with like, hey, I wanted to share about it, like this thing that happened that I just am super excited about, and share a photo, and then it's like, oh, do you have something? What is a photo?
Model it, right? We got to model.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Vanya, popcorn away.
Oh, popcorn away. I am going to popcorn to John O. I'm afraid to
You're
say
on mute, my friend.
Go. Here I am. Oh, yeah, this was my first time, and I didn't know what to expect. Whenever someone says breakout rooms on Zoom, I leave. I just get so, I don't know, the anxiety but this time I decided to stay, and I had some great people in my breakout room, and then I did a one-on-one, and it felt really great. And I love, everyone's energy, and two words, baby goats. If I had a picture to share, it'd be my daughter going to the farm. And if you're ever not feeling good, go see some baby goats.
That's a good life lesson. Thank you, John.
Okay.
Do you want to pick the next person, John?
Yeah. Who do we have there? Who do I see? I see Daisy. Daisy?
Adeze.
Adeze, yes, welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So this is my third masterclass. The first one I joined in May, and then reached out to one of the panelists who introduced me to Hansen. And now I work as part of the crew supporting behind the scenes. And yeah, what I'm getting from all of the sessions, and like I mentioned to my body when during the breakouts, it was that this was my outside the box. I have been remote long before COVID, and I'm trying to get out to meet more people and have conversations. So yeah, this is something I want to continue doing, and also see how I can extend that to people around.
Thank you.
Okay.
You want popcorn too?
And next to Anas, did I pronounce?
Your process is yes, your process is very well, Daisy, and how can I say it? Like very grateful to be part of the second one of the masterclass. The first one was on June. It was a head of a great masterclass, and it was very grateful to connect with Hansen and with Yanis and with Christian on the first one, and after the second one, it was Nicole, very great person, and I admired like connecting with her. Very great initiative, and it's very like welcomed one, just like supporting you on this initiative. Maybe like one day I maybe like switch into the team, who knows, perhaps. So yeah, keep doing this, keep connecting people, and I'm sure that on 2030 you may reach 1 million people. That's great.
Thank you, Anas. Let's popcorn over to Nicole.
Okay.
Perfect. Oh.
Yeah, yes, Nicole, yes. Thank you.
I realized that I need more outside of the box things. Like I'm very comfortable in all my internal things. I do a lot of stuff, but going out and being that more external outside of the box. But yeah, and I loved the second one where we had to think of who our first connection was. And because I think that really would open up someone like, what was the first time you felt connected? And so bringing that, and then you can go from there. But I really enjoyed that one, thinking back to my first connection.
Thanks, Nicole. Let's popcorn. Darren.
Hey, everyone. I'm Darren. I'm the founder of HumNet. And we're building the World Wide Web of empathy. So I welcome you to come look at us, check us out. And you know, the one thing that I'm excited about is August 8th, we're having our first public activation. So in terms of connecting the connectors, we're partnering with the Connecticut Nurse Wellness Project and hopefully having connection with like 1,000 nurses and supporters of nurses in Connecticut and globally. But yeah, this was great. I think the connector that popped for me, I couldn't think of anyone. And then I remembered my grandmother was like the Uber connector, always hosting events and having people over. And so it was nice to be forced into that, to think about that.
Thank you, Darren.
And I'll popcorn to Shelly. Hi, Shelly. Nice to see you.
Hi, Darren. I was going to popcorn to you, so that's just cheating. So yeah, I'm Shelly, and I think for me, this is the first time I've done anything like this, so it's been really, really cool and really interesting. I would love the breakouts to be a little bit longer. I think that would be really cool. For me, one thing that I kind of want to take away from today is that the Jessica, who I met with, is doing a connection challenge, and I love that idea. So I need to speak to her to find out more about it, so I can kind of steal her idea maybe. And then the other thing I just wanted to say is something random. John mentioned baby goats, and I just want to say, if you're feeling really down and you're having a crappy day, go and Google fainting goats and see what comes up when you look at fainting goats. I've never been so hysterical in my life. So have a great day, guys.
Thank you, Shelly. And Vig, I don't think you've shared yet.
Yes, I would love to. Thanks for the invite. My name is Vig. I'm here because of Steve. I live in Boston and enjoy meeting with Steve, and it's good to see Giannis and Hansen as well. I met all three of them in Atlanta at a conference last October. I think this is fantastic. I like that the workshop was really tailored towards people who already care about connection and have already done a lot of the basic groundwork of having the inside the box kind of interactions and building from there and then pushing us to go even deeper. So I appreciate that, and I will definitely be looping in some friends.
Thank you, Megan. Good to see you again. And Julie, I don't think we've heard from you yet.
Not yet. Thank you. I was laughing at the licking goat in the chat. I just enjoyed connecting with many of you, and particularly Sumaya, who had to drop off. But it was just wonderful out of the box connection moments for me. Thank you. And I am intrigued, Stephen, by your walking group. And I'm just has my mind spinning on. I used to do a women's exercise group. And it's got me re-energized around that. So thanks for that idea.
Love that. Thanks, Julie. And then sorry if I'm iPhone user here. Remind me of your name. You're on mute. We'll
Hello,
get
can you
there.
hear? Alex, how are you?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, well, no, thank you. This is my first time participating, and I was telling my buddy there that I'm not very technology oriented, so I get a little stuck. But I have to say that this activity is definitely outside the box, and I've been doing a lot more outside the boxes, so I'm gonna just keep going for those, like the trivia nights and talk to alike individuals, because that's where the conversations kind of, get a little bit more like good chemistry,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here and joining us. Let's go, Stephen, then Yanni to finish us off.
I just love you guys. And now I'm just going to speak from the heart. This was awesome. We got to keep it going. Like Vic said, share it with your friends. Let's do this. This is a place to push ourselves and feel our heartstrings pulled. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here.
There's no way I'm diluting what Steven just said. There's no way I'm going to close. I think this is a perfect closing. Thank you, Steven. I'm just going to say that I'll have to second Shelley that I've seen the fainting goats and I recommend them as well.
On the fainting goats note, let's all go use the last minute to Google fainting goats. But how we like to have some closure to our awkward Zoom calls environments is a little bit of a high five to your camera all at the same time, and we'll exit the meeting. So on the count of three, we all high five together, and that's how we close out. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spreading the ripple effects of connection and all your work in the world. We will see you next month. 1, 2, 3.